I do, because of all the AP test scores, test scores that we have and the amount of APs we offer. I think also where our kids end up in college and how they succeed in the colleges they go to also tells that we're doing something right. And I think the teachers here hold them in a higher accountability. A whole bunch. Growing up in Africa, growing up overseas, traveling as much as I have, it's a tough one. And I think our kids don't know how tough it is. To get to life, use common sense, be gracious, be kind, be honest, have people have character and integrity. I think once they do that, anything can happen. It all depends why they're not performing. Sometimes the schedule is such they're gone on games and like that, and I said, you know what, I understand that. But then if they don't have that and they're just messing around, I hold them to the same standard. I expect them to do the work that someone else does. Unless they have a good reason for not doing it. Ooh, free. There's no such thing in the world as free anymore. All kinds of sports, drama, band activities. We have a huge missions opportunity all over the world. So they're not free, but they're at a point to where anybody can afford them, and they're real good for life. Probably too much. No. They're very well informed, and if they miss it out, it's because they just didn't listen. I mean, they hear it from me, from other teachers, from our counselors, so there's no excuse why they didn't know. I mean, there's all kinds of social media, there's internet. The biggest thing is when kids use internet, I always tell them, make sure the source you're using is a good source, not just some internet source. Of course, I'm a believer in books. I think books are never outdated. I think people sometimes can be a good resource. People who've gone the way that you're going, and you can talk to them, interview them, see how they did it. And so there's a plethora of sources out there. Yes, I do. I've taught this in my 5th school. I felt safe at every school. I think what makes you feel safe is the character of students you have, the character of the teachers you have. If it's a big family, great, but if there's that tension, then you may not feel so safe. But our school here, I think everyone feels like you're just like part of the family. Say it's probably one teacher per 14.
Yeah.
I think we want to find out why they're struggling. If it's something at home, then you got to deal with a whole different situation. But if something in classroom that maybe they feel of inadequacy or not valued, find out why and cut them some slack, help them get back on track, and just let them know that you care about them more than just the fact that they're a poor student, that you care about who they are. I would say out of our class is 115, I would say probably 114 will go to college. I think they're actively involved, but as a senior teacher, I hardly ever see senior parents because the kids are driving themselves, and I see the senior parents back to school night and the graduation. But I know lower school grades, the parents are very interactive. They're very, they want to know what's going on. They're not afraid to ask the teachers. Teachers aren't afraid to talk to the parents. And it's not like the parents are surprised. They kind of know what's coming. And I think we do a very, very good job of communicating with parents. No. Okay. We have a budget. Okay, but I do buy things for my seniors just out of the fact that I want them to have certain things. But we have a budget that we buy our stuff with. I think that we are stressing way too much stuff on SAT scores and AP scores, and where you're going to go to college. Who cares? Who cares? Go to college, get what you want to do. I don't care where you go, but go to college. And our kids don't have common sense anymore. They're told what to memorize and be able to give it back, and they have no common sense about life. That's why we have such failure when it comes to kids who graduate, who don't go in a major field of study because they don't know what to do. And we don't teach common sense anymore. And so I think it's a broke situation. Get off the SAT scores. Get off the fact you have to go to a Harvard. No, you don't. They're just as dumb as anybody else. Go to a college that fits you and do the best you can. That's all that can be expected of you. I think probably for me, it would, because I teach seniors, would be that when the seniors leave high school, that they go to college, they don't crash and burn. So many seniors leave high school, go to college, and they get caught up in the stuff of college that drags them down. They get caught up in the drinking, the drugs, immorality, the sex, and go to college to learn about life, to learn about what it takes to be a man of integrity, woman of integrity, to man and woman of your word, and to do that which is asked of you, and to perform in such a level to where you are doing the best you can. And the other stuff, you know what, that comes later, but you don't need it. There's too much of that in colleges.
The school is a high-performing school because based on, I'm comparing other schools to this school, I see more A's compared to other schools. Based on what you guys talk about, that's all I know about student life outside of school. When I was a student like you, outside of school is, I would assume it's different than how it was back then. Well, I have high expectations from my students. The root word of student is to study. So when I teach, I want them to study. In return, root word of a teacher is teach. So I teach and they study. It depends on the student's level. So I believe that students learn through various means at various points in time, but I don't hold them to the same standard of expectation as the students who are performing at the higher end. So the after school that I do here is for, and you are a member of it, and they are free. I believe that the school informs the student really well about scholarships and college opportunities. Back when I was your age, I didn't know about such opportunities. I didn't even know that, again, back then FAFSA was already available. And now that's all broadcast out there. So the school does well to inform students about scholarships and college opportunities. I think we live in a computer world where everybody is pretty much computer savvy. I think that students now have greater access to resources, and I think these resources are effective, especially through social media. Yes, I feel safe here. So the teacher ratio for me is about 35 to 1. Well, I asked the student to come in after school, if that's possible. But before that, I called a parent. So I call a parent, see if a child is available, and the student may need extra help after school or during the ELT. I don't know the school's graduation rate, but I would say in my classes, the way that I see it, it's about 70% will go to college. The parents are actively involved, especially in this community, I believe. But I don't meet with them on a person-to-person basis unless I ask them to come in. However, I do make parent contact through phone or email. Yes, I do, and I have a budget on that one. It's quite a lot, especially given that I have to show a lot of this to the students, so I have to buy props outside of school. And, in food alone, I spent, I wouldn't say the amount, but a lot. I'm coming, maybe I'm biased, I didn't get much when I was growing up. So I feel that some students are privileged to get certain things. I hardly get paper, and I have to buy that on my own. Here it's, the students are expecting you to provide it. Although parent involvement is still high here, I noticed that parent involvement decreases as students, kids get into high school. Elementary parents are really involved. As they go through through high school, middle school, they get less and less involved. I'd like to see more parent involvement as they go through high school, and I think that could be accomplished by giving more after-school activities for kids, where students can showcase what they learn in their classes to their parents.
I do know, so standardized testing and just overall state testing, we're probably one of the lowest.
Okay.
In the district, okay. I think there's maybe one or two schools that perform less than ours. Mm-hmm. But again, comparatively speaking, because of the community and the environments located, it makes sense that they would perform lower just because of the student population and the funding that's available.
Project's about,
so that definitely plays a big part.
A lot of them cross the border during the weekend and go back to their families, and they don't really live with their parents during the school week. They go back to them on the weekend and will come back for school.
That all the students have accommodations and they feel like they have enough support to be successful in the classroom as well. You learn to teach to the high-performing students, to the students that at the level, and to the students below the level. Okay, because you can't expect that the one thing you make everyone understands. You can expect them not to understand it, but you can't expect everyone to understand it. So me as a teacher, I adapt my lectures and my homework so that I make it rigorous enough so that the majority of students should understand it.
There's the grit tutors, and that's powered by the students during 7th period. Nice. And then there is also tutoring in the library that the students can go to, that where selected teachers stay there and tutor the kids. And mostly it's like science or math.
So the school we have a big bulletin board by the counseling center, where they have information like that available at all times. We do have a news like broadcasting thing that goes on every day, and when new scholarships are made available to the counselors, or they look them up, the head counselor, she goes to the newsroom, and she's like a little anchor, and they interview her, and she presents it, and so that's pretty cool. So there is a lot of wealth of information regarding that, I think. The counseling system that we have here, I'm always seeing them out and about, and I see the counselors looking for students and having meetings and asking teachers to help them out and see if they can, release a student so they can talk to them about their courses and about, their path to graduation. So I definitely see the counselors being very effective here and being very caring and really wanting to make a difference in the students. They're a small group of people, but they do the work of dozens of people. So they're definitely really hardworking.
Oh yeah, very safe. I mean, I wouldn't stay here during night, but I feel safe. Yeah. But yeah, I feel very safe.
Good.
I would say 30, but I'm not sure. I offer tutoring. I also, during class, would have them come up to me, or I would call them over and talk to them about what they might be struggling with or what assignments may be missing.
The graduation rate here, I'm not that aware of, but I can say it's on the lower end of most of the schools in the district.
Okay.
Yeah, especially just because of our location and the community that we work with. I would say it's on a lower spectrum compared to most.
That's a tougher question for me, just because my as I said before, a lot of parents live across the border.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I only seen maybe three to five of them during open house.
Okay.
But I know that we have a lot of parents that are very involved in the school here, but because I teach ELD, a lot of parents aren't able to just come over.
Yeah.
Although they are very willing to be part of their their son or daughter's education, but some of them really just can't. Yeah, I spend a lot of money on the classroom. That's a given. Of course, there are resources available. Like I can get markers if I want to, but I'm not going to get as many markers as I would like.
Yeah.
And I could get posters, but maybe not as many posters as I would like. So you are provided resources, but maybe not as much as you would like to go do lessons that are out of the box.
That is.
I think funding is an issue because without funding you can't get anything else. Whether you say you're imposing too much standardized testing, or there's not enough teachers, or there's too many students and we don't have somewhere. If there was funding, the more funding we have smarter classrooms. The more funding we have more tutoring available. The more funding we have better food, better resources, more teachers. There's a scarcity in teachers because no one wants to teach anymore. The more funding we would have, we could provide more things for resources for kids who may have behavioral problems. We could diminish those problems and make them into better learners. With more funding, the kids who rather stay here for hours because they want to go home might have more opportunities after school to enrich themselves. So just funding. There's many things that can be improved upon. I think school culture can be improved. I think that would be improved from the top down, so administrative level to teacher level and then to student level, because you can't really impose something on the youth if they don't have people demonstrating that type of behavior,